everyone, my name is Paige and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be of a 24-hour read-a-thon. Yeah. This is gonna go. Today is currently Sunday, August 20th, and I will be doing the read-a-thon tomorrow on Monday, August 21st, going into Tuesday, August 22nd. Now, I'm doing this because it is 10 days left in the month, and I have finished 2 of the books that I had on my August TBR. So I want to be able to try to get more of those books done. So I have a stack of books right here that I am planning on reading during this time. So the first one is going to be the Inkblood Sister Scribe book that I have been saying I am going to read for a very long time. It's not that I don't like this book, it's that I just haven't been engrossed enough in it to read for more than a couple of chapters. And sometimes it's just the mental power that you have to push through and stuff like that. So I am currently on chapter 15, which is page 182 out of 403. So I'm about halfway through. And I'm really hoping to be able to finish this because I like the idea, I like the plot. The writing style just takes a little bit more of my concentration. So I'm hoping to be able to sit down and power through that. The second book is another one that I am most of the way done with. It is a shorter book, and it is The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. It's the first novel in the Discworld series. I had gotten this from the library last week, and I actually read most of it. After I went to the library, I sat down and went to a coffee shop and just read while I ate breakfast because I went pretty early in the morning. I say early, I was 10. And just kind of going along with that theme of enjoying the rest of my summer. So I got this, I read the first chapter. These chapters are pretty long, and then over the next couple of days I worked through the second chapter, so I'm on chapter 3. So I'm on page 103, which is almost exactly halfway through the book. So that is the other one I am planning on reading and getting through. I don't think this one should take me very long to finish, maybe 2 hours at the most, depending on how much I have to go back and reread, because sometimes I lose concentration and I do have to do that. The third book that I am planning on physically reading is a history book. It's Brooding Over Bloody Revenge, Enslaved Women's Lethal Resistance. I've read the prologue to this, so I'm on the first chapter. It is a pretty short history book. It's a case study of 5 women who were enslaved from the time period of colonial America, so 1650 to late 1700s, when the American Revolution was fought and that transition of power took place, all the way through the antebellum era. So that's with the end of slavery. So this book looks at 5 women who got revenge. The other term is wild justice. So it's when you take justice into your own hands. So you can be morally right. You shouldn't be murdering people, but like it's showing how women could be violent and use that violence as a form of resistance, because there was this misconception that women were not violent whenever it came to resistance. So I am excited to read this one. I met the author. She is a professor of history at Howard University out near Washington, D.C. So I am excited. And then the final one is also a book that was on my TBR, and it is Divine Rivals. So I am excited to read this. I read the first chapter, and I am going to be going through that. This is the last book that is on the list and is going to be the last book that I will pick up for it, just because I want to get through the other 3 first. And I will say I do have an audiobook as well. I am going to be listening to Kingdom of the Blind by Louise, and this is the next book in the Inspector Gamache series. It's number 14, and I have listened to about 30 minutes of it so far, so I should have plenty of time. This will kind of, to try to get through this true spirit of the full 24 hours, I will listen to it when I'm walking Luna, when I'm cooking meals, when I'm doing laundry, doing the things that still need to be done during the weekend time period, but I'll still be able to engage with books in some way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Okay, so it is currently 6:58. I have my stack of books that I am going to be working on. I got my coffee and I have my book reading blanket. So the plan is for today is to read from 7 a.m. and then just engage with reading for as long as I can, or until 7 a.m. tomorrow. We'll see. I'm not sure how this is going to go. This is my first 24-hour challenge. I have not stayed up for 24 hours since I was like 14 or 15, so it's been a minute. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I am currently now, after my intro video yesterday, at 7% through Kingdom of the Blind. So I will kind of use this as a measure, but I will also see how many books I can get through. Like I said, I have started pretty much all of the books that I want to read, so some of them are going to be able, I'm going to be able to get through them a lot faster than others. So it is now 6:59, and I'm just going to go ahead and get started a minute early. Luna got me up at 5:30 this morning to go for a walk, so yeah, let's get reading.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true.
So it is 9:14. I'm doing a quick check-in. I've been reading for 2 hours, and I am almost done with Inkblood Sister Scribe. I took the jacket off because it kept slipping. So I just took Luna outside. We walked down the road a little bit and back, just a quick so that way she can go potty. She did get scratched by a cat. She's fine. It was on her ear. I disinfected it. She'll be fine. She just was bleeding for a little bit, so I had to take care of that. So yeah, so far everything is going well. I'm going to finish this and then work on the color of Magic. So far I have listened to about an hour of the Kingdom of the Blind. I listen at 1.25 speed, so it's actually less than an hour. I've started laundry, I took her out, I got some more tea, I got some tea, all that fun stuff. So I've spent probably about 40-ish minutes listening versus physically reading out of the 2 hours, or 2 hours and 15 minutes so far. So yeah, so I will see you guys in a couple of hours. It is now 11:11. Make a wish, everybody. I've now listened to 2.5 hours, or I'm up to 2.5 hours on Kingdom of the Blind, so I haven't listened to that much in this 2-hour period. I did finish Inkblood Sister Scribe, and I read a chapter of The Color of Magic. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the books I'm reading, just because I will do that in my wrap-up video for reading for the month, so that way you guys aren't listening to the same things over and over again. But I will say I did like Inkblood Sister Scribe. I thought the ending was really good and definitely speculative, fits into that genre very well, and I enjoyed that. And so far, The Color of Magic, I read another chapter, so that means I only have 1 chapter left. This is just a fun read. If you've ever read Terry Pratchett before, you kind of know that he's a little bit ridiculous, but yeah. So I'm going to, in the next 2 hours, I'm going to finish this, hopefully, and work on this. I started reading another chapter and I put in some tabs, because I do tab when I'm reading history, because there are some times where I'm like, oh, I want to be able to remember that. I can use that in novel research, or it's just very interesting. Like this last one that I tabbed yesterday when I was reading in here, it says, talks about how enslaved people were not allowed to practice medicine, and the specific quote says, as Barry asserts, unsanctioned medical practice by enslaved people was extremely threatening to slave owners, especially when used as a form of resistance. So especially whenever they are, you know, trying to poison their masters, whether it's fatally or non-fatally, either way. So that's my plan for the next 2 hours. After that, I will also go to the gym, and that's where I'll listen to my book for a little bit longer. But I'm really enjoying all of the books that I'm reading right now, and I think that they are all fitting the mood. We'll see how the Brooding over Bloody Revenge goes long term. I may not finish this one. I may just read a couple of chapters and then move on to Divine Rivals, or I may finish the chapter I'm on, move to Divine Rivals, and kind of alternate depending on how I'm feeling, just because it takes a little bit more of a mental capacity to read a history book versus a novel. So we'll see. But I won't see you for the 1 p.m. check-in, so the next time I will be here is at 3 p.m. and at that 3 p.m. I will have been 8 hours into this, I think. Yeah. 8 hours. So right now we're at 4. I am almost a quarter of the way done. But yeah, it's going well. I'm excited. I am enjoying myself. I'm glad I'm doing this. So yeah. Okay. It's 3 o'clock. Look at that. Like I said, at 1 o'clock I did go to the gym and I listened to my audiobook the entire time. I will say it's kind of annoying on how loud they keep the music on at the gym. But I am 37% of the way through the book, which is 4 hours and 30 minutes. So we're getting there with the book, the audiobook. My goal is to maybe get most of the way through this one, and I'm also listening to another one because I had 2 holds that came in at the same time. So I'm listening to that one is for today, but I'm also alternating with the other one, other than like starting tomorrow again. I'll alternate depending on what I feel like or what chapter I'm on and where good starting and stopping points are and stuff like that. But I did get pretty decently through. I got through the first chapter of this book, and I'm now on to chapter 2. Chapter 2 isn't that long. Let's see. It's only about 13 pages, which is kind of short. And considering how like small physically in dimensions this is, it's not going to take me that long. So I think what I am going to do is I am going to alternate between these two, just so that way I am not bombarding myself with new information that would take some time to digest. So I can still focus on it and be learning things because it is interesting. Like I said, I will be doing a review of all of these books when I do my wrap-up video at the end of the month. And I am now working on Divine Rivals. I had used the book jacket cover instead of the bookmark that I have in here for some reason, but I'm on chapter 3 of that. So yeah, we're going. I did have to make some tea because I was starting to feel a little sluggish, and I think that's just from after my workout. I was just starting to get a little tired because I normally don't work out in the middle of the day. I usually work out after work, so I'm just starting to get a little sleepy. And it could just be because it's 3 o'clock, so it's the midday slump. So we'll see. I think reading something that this may be a little bit better for my tired brain because I'm not having to focus as much, but we'll work on it. Yeah, so I think that I'll read until 4-ish, and then I'll take her outside, so that way she can use the restroom, so she can go potty, and then I'll feed her and then check back in at 5. Okay, so I'm a lot late here, but it is 8:23 now. So I've been at this for 13 and a half hours, and it is going pretty well. I just finished Divine Rivals. After I talked to you last time, I just kind of kept reading this. I didn't switch off like I was thinking I was going to, just because I just kind of got engrossed in this. I really like Rebecca Ross's writing style, and I liked A River Enchanted, which was the first book I ever read by her. And this one was different enough, but like I said, I like her writing style. It just kind of, it's not one that you have to think about too much, but yeah. So I finished Divine Rivals. I have listened to probably about another half an hour of Kingdom of the Blind during that time period as well, and I've read a couple more pages of Brooding over Bloody Revenge. So I think my plan right now, I have a knitting project that I'm working on. I may finish knitting the row that I'm on while listening to my audiobook, and then work on Brooding over Bloody Revenge. I may only read a couple more chapters of that. I'm not 100% sure because, like I said, I'm not entirely sure how much of the information I'll retain if I keep reading it straight through. And that's one of the ones that I kind of want to retain more of the information. But also, there's only 7 hours left in this audiobook. So, yeah. We'll see. Because if I get to a certain point where I'm just tired and I'm ready to go to bed, I may just go to bed. I need to put the duvet back on my bed. But, yeah. But it's been a good day. It was a lot of fun just sitting down and reading all day. I've not done that in a while. Where I didn't think about writing, I didn't think about work, I didn't think about anything. Like I said, I went to the gym, but I listened to my audiobook the entire time. So just like being immersed in worlds that aren't necessarily my own. that's one of the things that I read for. I am an escapist reader. I like reading fantasy because it's talking about those larger problems that we have here, but they put them in a more complex yet simple way. And you feel removed from it because it's not your world. So, yeah. So yeah, I got 3 of the 5 books finished. So I'm feeling pretty good, and I am now up to 4 of the 5 that I said I was gonna try to read this month done. So the only one I have left is Lightbringer. Yeah. So I can get that done in like 9 days. Yeah. Yeah, this is great. This is great. So I think I'm gonna call it a night. I'm falling asleep reading my book. So, but it is almost 11 o'clock, which means I made it through a lot of the day. I'll put that math on the screen below here. And I did finish 3 books, and let me check my audiobook. And I am 52% of the way done with my audiobook at 6 hours and 21 minutes, and I started at like right at 1 hour, so I've done 5 hours of my audiobook as well. So I'm counting today as a win, and I'll still get more done with the audiobook this evening as I like finish going through my bedtime routine, and then also tomorrow morning, because this ends at 7 a.m. tomorrow, I will have an hour there. So yeah, I'm tired. Why did I do this to myself? Yeah. I don't stay up for this long very often. So even 11 o'clock is a win in my book, because normally I'm out by 10:30. 10. I'm definitely one of those people that's early to bed, early to rise. So yeah. So I'll see you tomorrow to do a quick little outro, my thoughts and stuff about doing a 24-hour read-a-thon, even though I'm not reading for the entire 24 hours. Yeah. So, good night. Good morning. So it's been a couple of days since I've done the read-a-thon, and I just wanted to kind of hop on, do a quick outro, and talk about how I experienced it, felt about it, stuff like that. I actually really enjoyed it. I wish I had a little bit more time on the weekends, because it felt like I needed the whole day of reading. I needed to be able to refill that well. I needed to be able to just kind of relax and get lost, and that's how I like to just decompress from the week. I will say, because I spent the whole day reading, that meant I spent not a lot of time doing other things that I wanted to do, but like I said, it was needed. In total, I finished 3 books and got most of the way through 2 others. So I did catch up. I did catch up on my Goodreads reading challenge. So how I do my reading challenge every year for Goodreads, and this is because my brain is weird. I take whatever my goal was last year. If I beat it, I increase it by 5. If I didn't, if I fell short, I decrease it by 5. So last year my goal was 85 books. I read over 100, and so this year I increased it and it was at 90, and before doing the reading challenge I was behind. So now that I have done it, and I'm a couple days out, I have finished one other book since doing that. I am now 1 book ahead. And oh no, I finished 2. I also finished an audiobook. So I am 1 book ahead, and yeah, I do think I'll do the reading 24-hour read-a-thon again. I may wait to do it until January, and the reason why is because with my work schedule and the events and stuff like that, I am pretty much needed for most of the fall, just because that's when things start really picking up. We have vendor events, we have all of this stuff, so it's easiest for me to take a week off in January. And I did it last year, and because I had a friend's wedding to go to, and it also fell on a week with a holiday, so it didn't make sense to come to work for a day, take off 2 days, and then come work for a day, take off 2 days, and then come back to work for a day. So I took that whole week off, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed just staying home, chilling with my dog. We went hiking a couple of times. So if I do it again, it's going to be in January when that happens, so that way I have plenty of time to recover. And this did get me thinking about doing a 24-hour Read-A-Thon. I'm not sure how that would work because I am the only person here to take care of Luna. I have been thinking about maybe doing a 24 and 48 type of thing where I write for 24 hours throughout 2 days. That way I can also sleep. I can walk Luna and just not put that much pressure on myself and make sure my brain is actually functioning. That might be something I do in January, but I also am planning on trying to query in January. So I don't know how both of those would work simultaneously. So, yeah, those are my thoughts about the 24-hour read-a-thon. Like I said, I will go through all of the books that I read in my reading wrap-up and TBR video. And depending on how long that reading wrap-up video is, I may actually do 2 different videos for that, because I want to try to keep my videos under 30 minutes if possible, and it's looking like I've read quite a few books or stories this month. So yeah, it's exciting. But if you like this video and you want to see more content from me, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below and make sure those notification bells are on. If you could leave me a comment down below, I would love to hear, have you ever tried to do a 24-hour read-a-thon, 24-hour write-a-thon? How did that go for you? What was the hardest part? As you saw in the video, my hardest part was the staying awake. I am not that strong. But yeah, like I said, and make sure you follow me on Instagram. I post lots of puppy pictures there on my story, and you can get some updates on what I've been doing outside of my writing life. So thank you, and I will see you guys all very soon with another video.